What's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Metacom MAFEX action figure review on the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Superman Metacom MAFEX action figure. If you're trying to pick this up, you can get it.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
Similar packaging to what we'd see with the Batman figure. You can see Superman right over there, some interchangeable pieces. Then you can see Superman on the side. There's a BVS logo on the back, so there's some more poses. Then a bunch of stuff in Japanese, and then there's Superman just walking right over there. Alright, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Superman out of the packaging, and I really wish I liked this figure a whole lot more. I'm not the biggest fan of this piece. I have so many complaints. There's just a lot of things that I don't like about it. First off, we're not getting the classic MAFEX stand. We'd seen the other stand with Batman, and I'm not using that, this newer one right here. I'm using the old one right there because I don't like this bigger clamp. The cape is gigantic, and I have other complaints aside from that as well. My favorite thing about the figure, though, is posing it around with my other Batman figures. Posing it with the Mezco Toys Armored Batman, posing it with the MAFEX Batman, so that's fun, but for the most part, I'm not very happy with this figure. I didn't take the stand out of the bag for the Superman figure. I'm just showing off the one that came with the MAFEX Batman, but seeing how it looked in the bag, it looks exactly the same as this one right over here. Now, as far as the hands go, these all look very cool. I really like the little wrinkles in the hands and everything. They look very good. I think very realistic. You can see some of the seams in some of them, but you get some nice little wrinkles in there. And they have the sculpted fingernails. I always appreciate that attention to detail. Oh, it looks like he has a long fingernail on the thumb right over there. This one looks a little bit better. So yeah, he has these wide open hands, the relaxed hands right there, and of course the fisted hands. And they're very easy to put onto the figure. I really appreciate that. That really just goes a long way for me. When it's hard to switch the hands out, it takes away from the fun factor. So those are pretty easy to put on. I wish the wrist pegs matched the flesh tone though. That's a little unfortunate. So here's the first of the two head sculpts, and I like this one more than the second one. This isn't too bad looking. I think it kind of looks like Henry Cavill, right? Kind of, not dead on. When you look at the 3/4 angle, it looks a little bit more like him. The eyes don't look too bad. The left eye is just a little off center though. It looks like that left eye is just kind of raised. Again, I do like the flesh tone. I think it's a pretty good looking flesh tone. Get a little extra smudge of black right over there. It's a little unfortunate, but not a big deal. I think the sculpt looks pretty good too. Look, I can see the Adam's apple in the neck and everything, so that's pretty neat. It has a very realistic look to it. Paint choice for the mouth looks pretty good too. It's not overly pink or anything like that, and the eyebrows are all big and bushy right there. I like how the hair is sculpted, not looking too bad. So looking on the back right over there, it looks okay. So, the head sculpt's not terrible. Yeah, I don't think it's dead on, but it looks pretty good. Now you can just pop this off right over here. One time popping this off, the peg came with it, and that was a little frustrating, but not the worst of deals. And, oh my goodness. Okay, so I think the sculpt for the face and everything isn't too bad, but what really stands out to me here is the wrong color for the eyes. Oh, come on, man. It's supposed to be red. It's supposed to shoot red laser beams. I know I'm angry nerding out on this thing, but come on, man, it's supposed to be red. He's supposed to shoot red laser beams out of his eyes, and those are very yellow. And then the left eye over there is not even centered. And then the eyebrows look all weird, too. I mean, comparing the eyebrows on this one, these are very light brown, and these ones are, consistent with the hair. So it's like, very, very frustrating. So there's the two head sculpts. I'm not happy with this one at all. That really frustrates the heck out of me. But looking at the rest of the figure, I do like the shininess. We get this shiny metallic look for the red and the gold over there. Looking really cool. I wish the sculpting was a little bit more defined in some of these parts, but for the most part, I do like how the body looks on the figure. It doesn't look too bad. I like that shiny metallic light blue right over here. I mean, the whole thing is a metallic color, so I think that's pretty neat. The belt looks really nice and shimmery and everything. So yeah, I'm liking that as far as the paint goes on the rest of the figure. Similar to the Batman though, he does have a little bit of, of what I call the bitch hips. A little bit on the wide side, I think. I don't know, just kind of like it's just a little wide, not terrible I guess, but it does stick out to me as I'm trying to pose it. I don't think the hips should have been that wide. I don't know, I could be just really picky about it. But looking on the side right over here, again, I like this yellowish silver color right there for the belt. And then the nice shininess going through on here. Now, I like how the boots look, and, some may say that the feet look a little big. I actually like that because it helps support the figure. But I don't like the color over here because it doesn't match the emblem right over there, or the Superman logo, you know what I mean? So you can see it's two different colors of red. Then the cape is a slightly different color red, too. So we get three different reds over here, and that bothers me a lot. And then we do not have any peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Looking on the back over here, you can see some more of that shimmering detail. There's a Superman butt. And then there's the joints. I like how they have some of the sculpting going on inside some of the joints, but on the other half you can't really see it so well. On the elbows it looks really good. So whenever there's nice sculpted detail inside the joints, I always like that. Same thing right over there. Okay, now this cape. The material for the cape looks good. It's all nice and shimmery and everything, but it is just way too big. I mean, I always thought it was foolish to make the Superman cape as big as it was in Man of Steel, and I think they made it a little bit smaller in BVS, but man, this thing is just monstrous. And then they put the wire at the very bottom of the cape, and it just makes it very difficult to manage. Unlike the MAFEX Batman, they put the wiring on the sides, and that's a lot easier to deal with. But with this thing, I mean, it's really annoying, but you can see how big it is as I spread it out right here, as I hold the figure up. I mean, that is a huge cape. And Superman's not supposed to have a gigantic cape, man. That always bothered me. Now, to remedy this, I found it easiest to just fold it twice. So take each end and then fold it twice, and then take this end, fold it in, and then fold it again. And then now I feel like I have a more reasonable sized cape for Superman, and it drapes over his shoulders. Having it all the way out like that, it won't drape over his shoulders at all. So at least this looks more like the cape that I want in my Superman figure, and I can pose it around like that. So that helps a bit. But when you look at it from the back, it looks a little kind of, you know, cluttered. Now, as far as articulation goes, I like it. I like that you can turn the head all the way up. That is cool. Not even moving the neck joint, he looks up that far. But with the neck joint going, he can tilt up just a tiny bit more. So that's really easy for him to get into flying poses, which I appreciate, especially for a flying character like the Superman. Anyway, you can get his head moving downward, you get side-to-side movement over here, and because of that neck joint, you get some great neck pivot. You get the butterfly joint right over here that moves forward and back, and you can shift up and down at the shoulder. Shoulder joints move outward that much, you can move them down that much, you can rotate them forward, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows move in pretty far. I like that. The wrists move side to side. They hinge up and down depending on which way you turn those pegs. You get a diaphragm joint over here that turns side to side. And then he crunches forward that much, crunches back that much. Of course, you get some diaphragm pivot. You get a waist joint that turns side to side. Oh, I popped off his waist joint, and that's the thing with these MAFEX figures. If you're not careful, you can just pop stuff off. But they've gotten better as far as making them tighter, I think. And you get the waist pivot, of course. You get hinge joints that move up and down right there at the hip, and you can let the leg move outward just that far. You can get him kicking forward this much, and he will kick back not much at all. You get an upper thigh rotation in there. You get the double jointed knees, and then the ankles move down, they move up. You have side to side movement, some ankle pivot, and he does have the toe articulation. And then here's the figure at its widest stance possible with both feet still flat on the floor. Now to measure out this Superman figure, you can see that he's standing over 6.5 inches tall. Then here's the MAFEX Superman compared to the Mattel STCC exclusive Superman, and you can see that the cape on this one is much shorter. Call it film inaccurate, but I like it more because it's more comic accurate. One thing I'm noticing on this figure right here, aside from it being almost as shiny as this one, is that the boots are a different color than the Superman logo up there. So we do have the 3 colors there. I guess with this one it just stood out to me a little bit more. I don't know. Then we have our MAFEX Superman compared to the Mezco Toys Armored Batman, and then we have the MAFEX Batman right over here. I really like posing these two figures together. This scaling works out perfectly, I think. I don't like the scaling between the two MAFEX figures though. I feel like Superman is supposed to be actually a little bit shorter than Batman. However, in the comics, Superman's usually taller than Batman, right? But we're not going off the comics, we're going off the movie, and Batman is definitely taller than Superman. Then to compare this MAFEX figure to a Marvel Legend, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man. Then here's Superman compared to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. And a lot of people have been asking me when I'm going to make my full-length stop-motion video on the Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. I'm shooting for next weekend, hopefully next weekend. So I'm not the biggest fan of this figure, but it is still fun to pose. The thing I like about MAFEX figures in general is the posability, the durability of the paint and everything. I haven't gotten any paint chipping or anything like that. So I really like how the paint came out. I like the articulation. It's just that there's a lot of things that bug me about it, like the cape. I don't really like the color for the boots right there. I don't like the other head sculpt. I mean, there's just a bunch of things that bother me with it where I can't really feel like I love this figure. But still fun to pose, and really fun to pose with my other Batman figures. If I were to just get this all by itself, it would be a definite pass. I don't know if I'm even going to keep this. I may sell it further down the road. I don't know right now. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please hit the like button. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let the world know what you think, man. If you want to stick around, if you have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe circle that's popping up over there. And you can see one of my previous videos popping up down right over here as well in just a moment. If you want to see a photo gallery of images, it's all over at toynewseye.com. And please follow me on the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links all in the description below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures.